look, it's not going to be easy. I predicted before the series with the Chicago White Sox last weekend, I said they had 6 games left with the White Sox. I think they split with them. Well, guess what? They're 1-2 against the White Sox in those 6 games so far, which means they need to go 2-1 in this series with the White Sox in Chicago. Can they do it? Yeah, they can, but it's going to be an uphill battle, and I'll tell you why. We're going to start with the pitching matchups, right? And here's the thing. Having seen each other only 7 days ago, you're going to get a lot of the same pitching matchups, not necessarily pitchers squaring off with one another, but you're going to see similar pitchers. They're going to see Lucas Giolito again. They're going to see Davis Martin again. And then they're going to see Dylan Cease, who they did not see last series. So my thinking is, and what I believe to be true, is if you want to win this series, you have to win Friday and Saturday night. So let's look, okay? Eduardo Rodriguez on Friday night at 8:10 is going to square off against Lucas Giolito. The last time Rodriguez faced the White Sox, he went 6 1/3 innings, gave up 3 earned runs, 7 Ks, but it was a no decision because that was the game that the Tigers almost had their second walk-off in a row, but ended up losing in the 11th inning. Lucas Giolito, he went 4 2/3 innings with 1 earned run in the no decision on Friday night when the Tigers did win in a walk-off. So these guys are familiar with these pitchers. They just saw them a week ago. Game 2 is going to be Saturday at 7:10. Drew Hutchinson is going to be facing off against Davis Martin. Now, Drew Hutchinson last Sunday only went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 6 earned runs, and the Tigers ended up losing 11-5. Davis Martin last Saturday night, I apologize, 6 innings, 1 earned run, no decision, and that was the game that the White Sox won in 11 innings when the Tigers could have walked them off in back-to-back games. So I know a lot of confusion there as far as like when these guys started, but the truth of the matter is the White Sox and the Tigers have seen the first 2 starters just 7 days ago, which is going to give them a familiarity and either some good juju to build on, right? Like you got to Lucas Giolito. He only pitched 4 2/3 innings, and you ended up in a situation where you could have won the game in extra innings, but you didn't. And then Davis Martin, he kind of shut you down a little bit, so hopefully you can make adjustments to him. But if you want to win this series, you have got to win this series Friday and Saturday because you are facing off against Dylan Cease on Sunday, and Dylan Cease, I mean, he's in the Cy Young, or was in the Cy Young conversation for reasons that are obvious. He is a dominant pitcher. Almost threw a no-hitter a couple weeks ago. Like, very, very good. He's 14-7 on the year with a 2.13 ERA. Like, if you want to get to the White Sox and you want to just completely end their season, because they were 5.5 out of the wild card as of last check, but they also have lost the last 2 games to the Cleveland Guardians pretty handily as well. You want to end your rival season, go out and sweep this series. It's going to be very, very, very difficult, but go out and sweep it. Look, they're 12-4 against us on the season. We've not played well against them. But if you want to win this series, you win Friday and Saturday night. You get to Lucas Giolito. You get to Davis Martin. They're close. The White Sox are close to a playoff spot, but they're like hanging on by a thread. You want to cut that thread entirely? Go play spoiler this weekend in Chicago. I hope you do. It'll be fantastic. You got to play clean baseball, though. You have to attack the strike zone. You have to command the strike zone as a hitter, and you have to field the baseball when it's put into play. Those things are going to be key for the Detroit Tigers to make a run at winning this series or potentially sweeping it. A sweep is icing on the cake. I'm not calling for a sweep. I'm not saying that if you don't sweep, it's not going to be a failure, but I did predict you to go 3-3 against the White Sox in the last 6 games. You need to go 3-3 against the White Sox. Play spoiler. When you're so far out of playoff contention, there's no better way for you to have meaning in your season than to ruin somebody else's season. Do the White Sox deserve to be in the playoffs? No, they really don't. Not with the way that they played this season. They should have ran away with the AL Central, and they chose not to. So go ruin their season, especially when you got newcomers on their team like Elvis Andrews saying that it's going to be an easy win a series ago. Yeah, shut them up. Elvis Andrews, the veteran guy that's bounced from the Athletics to the White Sox and actually got cut from a rebuilding Athletics team. Like, shut them up. Go spoil their season. Have meaning in these last 13 games of how many seasons can we ruin. You got the opportunity. You're going to play the Twins again. You're going to play Seattle. They're going to be a lock for the playoffs. So you're not really going to ruin, but you can put a bad taste in their mouth. But that is going to be key for the Detroit Tigers this weekend. Win Friday and Saturday, and then let Sunday happen. Whatever's going to happen when Tyler Alexander faces off against Dylan Cease.